Hello everyone and welcome back to the Library of the Weird. I hope you're doing fine wherever you are. I certainly am, although I'm quite sad that by the time you're watching this, October will be over, Halloween will be over. But the good news is that for me, spooky season is far from over because it's still dark outside. It's a bit rainy today, and that means you can still make yourself cozy at home, maybe light a candle and read good horror novels. And this is what I'm going to do in November. And I thought it would be a good idea to talk to you about the books I plan on reading in November. So I plan on reading 5 books in November, plus 1 audiobook. So 6 in total. Of those 6 books, 3 are very, very recent, like they came out in October. 2 are semi-recent. They were published in 2023. And I told myself that I want to read 1 old book each month, and this is going to be the second to last book I'm going to talk about. But first I want to talk to you about the 3 books that came out last month, and I'm really excited for those 3. So the first book on my list is Out There Screaming, an anthology of new black horror, edited by Jordan Peele and John Joseph Adams, although he's not on the cover. So you probably know Jordan Peele either from his Key and Peele sketches, which I find hilarious. Check them out if you don't know them. And some of them have very much horror themes. And some of you probably also know him as the director and I think writer of the movies Get Out, Us, and Nope. He's also the founder of Monkey Paw Productions, which is a production firm that I believe also made the remake of Candyman. And in this anthology, there are 19 stories of black authors. I have to say I don't know most of them. I know N.K. Jemisin, who is probably most known for her fantasy series, The Broken Earth Cycle. Each book of the trilogy won the Hugo Award, which is quite the achievement. And the other author who is pretty known is Nnedi Okorafor, who writes Afrofuturism and Afrojujuism. And she's probably the most known for her book Binti. I think her most recent novel is Noor. But yeah, all the other authors are new for me, I believe. I think the stories in here will not only be scary because they're horror stories, but I expect a lot of social criticism and stories about how life is for black people in the US. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for this one. The next book on my list is White Horse by Erika T. Wurth, I think. This is a novel, not a short story collection or something like this. And this is about an indigenous woman who gets a bracelet that belonged to her mom that went missing or left or something like that. And when she's wearing the bracelet, she's seeing illusions of her mom. She's also seeing some kind of monster. And I think she's probably going to find out what happened to her mom. And Last month, I read Never Whistle at Night, which is an anthology of indigenous horror. And this made me really, really interested in indigenous culture. So I'm really, really happy to read this book. I'm very much excited for this one. The next book on my list is again a short story anthology. This is called Christmas and Other Horrors, and it was edited by Ellen Datlow. And I know what you're thinking, and I'm probably thinking the same. It's November. Christmas is so far away. I don't want to think about Christmas. But I believe these are not only Christmas stories that are, I mean, it's also called a winter solstice anthology. So there probably will be stories from other cultures as well. And I'm just really excited for this book. Ellen Datlow is a titan of the industry. She's edited so many collections. I talked about a monster collection, which won the Bram Stoker Award this year. And if you look at the list of writers in here, it's really, really hard to not get excited. There are stories of Stephen Graham Jones, Alma Katsu, Cassandra Corr, Garth Nix, even John Langan. So those are some of the biggest names in horror literature right now. And because of that, I will read this book in November. I believe I'm going to read it at the end of November, so Christmas will be a bit nearer. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for this one. So those were the 3 very recent books. All of them came out in October, I believe. The next book I'm going to talk about was released, I think, at the beginning of 2023. And this is The Destroyer of Worlds by Ruff. This is the sequel to Lovecraft Country, which probably most of you have at least heard of. It's kind of a twist on Lovecraft stories. It takes place in 1950s America. We follow the Turner family, which is a black family. And in the first book, we found out how life was for black people back then in the US. And the first book was used kind of an anthology storytelling. So each chapter was told from the viewpoint of a different member of the family. And I really do hope that this one is the same, because I really liked that type of storytelling. I've had this book since it came out, but I never came around to reading it. So I'm really excited to read this month. The other more recent book I'm actually listening to right now is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. It's a space horror novel. I like science fiction, I like horror, so I'm probably going to like this book. I'm actually, I think, a quarter into the story, and yeah, I do like it so far. It's a bit of a, I think, adventure and survival story. We're following this female protagonist who is on a space mission with her crew, and they find a spaceship that went missing, I think, about 2 decades ago in the story, and they find out that horrible things happened on this spaceship. And yeah, I'm really excited to find out where the story goes. And the last book on my list is the oldest, obviously, and this is Arthur Machen's The Great God Pan and Other Horror Stories. Arthur Machen was a Welsh author at the end of the 19th century, and he was a big influence on, for example, H.P. Lovecraft and Guillermo del Toro. He's writing, I think, kind of weird fiction. On the blurb it says that he embodies the transition from Gothic to modern horror, and that he's writing about occult horror, spiritual and physical corruption. I think The Great God Pan is supposed to be his best story. There's also The White People in here and a few other stories. And yeah, I'm actually really excited for this one. So yeah, those are the books I'm planning to read this month. Some of them are quite big, so I hope I'm going to manage to read all of them. I'm hoping your reading is going well too. Let me know what you're planning on reading in November, and maybe let me also know if you've read some of these books, if you're as excited as I am for some of these books. And see you next time. Have a great week. Goodbye.